Welcome you all for the Journey of Self-Discovery course. I would briefly introduce the speaker for the course. He is Gaur Gopal Das. He is an electrical engineering having studied at the College of Engineering, Pune. After a brief stint with Hewlett Packard, he decided to upgrade his career to be a lifestyle counselor. Consequently, in the year 1996, he joined ISKCON and has been very active in this field ever since. Serving in the leadership at the ISKCON Chowpatty branch, Gaur Gopal Das has also been speaking at various prestigious institutions like VJTI, ICT and TMC for nearly 2 decades. He has been very actively involved in guiding leading doctors and medical professionals at the Breach Candy, Jaslok, Kokilaben Ambani and Bhaktivedanta Hospital. Has spoken as the keynote speaker along with Shami Kapoor and Shatrugna Sinha at the World Kidney Day function at Ravindra Mandir on several occasions. Corporate firms like Infosys, Barclays, EY, Macintosh have not been an exception in his areas of continual help and guidance. In fact, the seminar entitled "A Monk Who Bought His Ferrari" that he did at Ernst & Young, London, drew great appreciation. As Gaur Gopal Prabhu regularly visits the members of the Rotary Club and Lions Club for talks and guides, various top-ranking celebrities and corporate leaders, he also extensively travels across the globe trying to add value to human society. He has penned 3 books entitled Revival, Conquest and Checkmate. Based on the timeless Vedic wisdom coming from ages, his talks made the audience think deeper and find simple solutions to difficult problems. So now he will take the session forward. I hand over the session to him. Thank you.
Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Upanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandana Parthavatsaha Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamritaya Duhe Namaha. Thank you, Chaitanya Rupa Prabhu, for that introduction. I don't truly think that all of what he said is accurately true, but wherever it stands, thank you for that. First of all, I would like to welcome every single one of you, the participants here, for the 6th session course entitled The Journey of Self-Discovery. I always begin my talk by saying, I hope none of you here are a victim of what's called as peladophobia. The internet lists about 450 varieties of phobias, and one is called peladophobia, which is fear of bald people. So I hope none of you suffer from this thing called peladophobia. One of my friends came to me and he was pretty much impressed by my baldness. And I told him, you know something? Being bald is such an incredible advantage to me. I don't have to bother grooming my hair, you know. Saves me time. Just imagine coming for a talk, get up, wash your face, out there. He said, yeah, indeed. That's an advantage, but I think there's a major disadvantage there. I said, and what's that? He said, you never know till where to wash your face. Because, you know, you just go. At least when you have hair, there's a barricade there. Don't go. So I hope none of you go through peladophobia. And I hope that none of you are victims of theophobia either. Theophobia is a listed phobia on the internet. It's phobia of religious people. So suddenly, you know, you find like a religious man in the middle of all of you. Goodness, I hope you don't go through something like that. Of course, like I always mention, you know, when I travel overseas, I'm like a novelty item. For all the Western people, I'm like an extremely novel person at the airports. I get people coming up to me and asking me, is your favorite color orange? And I have to say, looks like. You know, quite interesting you get. Once a person came and asked me, what's the stuff hanging behind? My dhoti, you know, asking me, what's the stuff hanging behind? And he was kind of a professional guy, so he had a tie in his neck. So I asked him, what is this? He said, it's a necktie. I said, this is a back tie. Just how life could be. But I mean, you could get very interesting people when you travel all around the world. I was telling in a program the other day, I was walking at Oxford Street, London, and about 4 or 5 days I was walking. And there's one British gentleman who was probably living there, and he'd been watching me for 4 or 5 days. And you can imagine, every day you have varieties of colors, you know. For me, it's the same color every day, the same attire. So after 5 days, this man just couldn't resist himself. He comes up to me and says, you only have one pair of clothes? I said, not really. I just have the same color, many pairs though. So, a combination of palladophobia and theophobia, a bald religious man. Hare Krishna, good luck. But I must welcome you. Thank you for coming and taking your precious time out to be with us, hopefully for the next 6 days. I say hopefully because you may be making an appointment with disappointment this evening. I truly don't know. Let's see how it goes. You know, whenever I talk about the word discover, I always talk about something that is existing and is once again brought about. Discovery is not an invention. Invention is probably something that's pretty new. When you talk about discover, the very word discover has the word cover in it, something that's covered over. And when we dig into the layers of what is covered, pull out what's already existing. Archaeology is all about that, isn't it? All archaeologists all over the world dig into the layers of the earth and pull out the dirt and see what's in there. Once the United States of America, some of the archaeologists there were digging the earth. And while they dug the earth deep down there, discovering or probably uncovering the layers of the earth, they found deep within there a copper cable, a copper wire. And they dated the copper wire, and the copper wire was about 250 years old. And the Americans, good heavens, they were so excited. They said, wow, look at this. We had telecommunication 250 years back. We were in fact the people who started telecom. The Germans couldn't wait, of course. They dug up the earth, you know. When they dug up the earth and uncovered the layers, they found much deeper an optical fiber. And they dated the optical fiber to about 500 years old, being 500 years old. And they said, just see, we were even more evolved than the Americans in communication systems. We had optical fiber communications 500 years back. And how would the Indians keep quiet, obviously? They dug up the earth, went much deeper, and they found nothing. And they were so happy and jubilant, said, just see, we had wireless communication thousands of years back. You know something? Indians are pretty amazing, you know. I must say, they are a pretty amazing species. Only in India you can have absolutely novel things happening. You can order for a sugarcane juice and tell the guy, baraf mat dalna. Because baraf dalenge to volume kam hoga. And then you drink half of it and say, abhi baraf lao. This is probably the only place where you could sip your kala khatta gola and then tell him, "Arey dal thoda sharbat aanda." You don't find there anywhere else. And when you're having your chana chor garam on the thela, then while you're eating, you can always have your freebies, you know, a little bit all the time. And the only place where the concept of missed call exists is India, where you give a missed call to save a rupee. Well, nothing against India. India is an amazing place and a wonderful place with incredible people. But you know, a course like that has to be slightly lighter. So please excuse my sense of humor. It's not going to be anyone who's a victim of my sense of humor. Not the ladies, not the men, not the kids, not the Indians, not the Americans, not the Germans. Everything I say on a funnier note is just to make this intense philosophy lighter. Yeah? So please don't take any offense at all. Because when I say some things, everyone's going to say, "Arey, mere liye to nahi bol raha." It's not about anyone at all. It's just to make things slightly easier and digestible to understand. You know something? We are all here to discover. We are all here on a 6 days journey of self-discovery. Discovery is about uncovering the layers of the earth and finding within what's already existing. I must say something to all of you. And I want to say that what I'm going to discuss here for the next 6 evenings, a lot of it you all already know. Something you heard from your grandmas and grandpas, something from your parents, something from a monk on television, something read in Amar Chitra Katha, probably something somewhere has bounced upon our heads. So I'm not going to teach anything new here at all. What I'm going to do here is simply facilitate the uncovering of what you already know in a slightly more methodical manner, in a slightly more organized manner, with a presentation, with points being covered in a sequence. It's just going to make it slightly more easier to organize the thoughts that you probably already have in your mind. So don't consider me like a priest giving a sermon. Don't consider me like a pandit giving a pravachan. Don't consider me like a teacher teaching a class. What I'm truly trying to do is facilitate all of you to uncover the knowledge, the experience, the realizations that you all probably already have. So please do not take this course as, like, don't take me like the holier than thou standing here and giving a pravachan or something, And I would definitely love to have your participation whenever solicited for a discussion, because that would help us understand the subject better. I must once again congratulate every single one of you for not coming for this course in a reactive way, but coming for this course in a proactive way. Reactive is, whenever there is trouble, after nothing works, chalo mandir. कोई काम नहीं आ रहे, वो दोस्त काम नहीं आया, एक काम नहीं आया, कोई काम नहीं आया, घंटा. You see all those movies, Bollywood movies, when the hero's mother is in the operation theater and the doctor comes and says, अभी मैं भी कुछ नहीं कर सकता, अभी तुम्हारे माँ की जान ऊपर वाले के हाथ में है. And somehow, at least in the movies, there's always a temple near the hospital. And this guy will walk down and he will start ringing the bell. Not ringing the bell actually, he starts singing a song, Jai Ma Ambe. And suddenly you'll see the temple move like this and the bells go like this. And suddenly you'll find the mother in the OT will open her eyes. Beta, मैं कहाँ हूँ? Isn't it somehow just a part of life that we always have people coming to the path of religion, coming to the path of God, only in times of difficulty, crises. And what's amazing about every single one of you here is that none of you here have come in times of crisis. Most all of you here have come proactively to see if there's any more thing, if there's any more meaning to life. Discover more facts about life. I must indeed congratulate each one of you. I'm so delighted, so absolutely delighted to see so many wonderful, educated people trying to understand this message, in a very sincere way. So I thank you all very much for being here. I would like to make a couple of clarifications. Today we have started late, at about 7:30. Tomorrow on we will start dot on time at 7 o'clock. And we will end dot on time as the clock ticks 9. And the reason being, many of you come from distant places. Today is an exception. So today please allow me 10 to 15 minutes extra, because we've started late, so that we cover our topic completely. Every other day 7 to 9 dot. If I have 2 people, I would be starting at 7. So please take note of that. I know Bombay can be a little, man proposes and Mumbai traffic disposes. But nevertheless, considering what India is, will start on time. One man was sitting on the railway tracks and a guy was noting him. He saw him for 2 hours. He said, "What are you doing here?" He said, I'm sitting here to commit suicide. So what about all this food and drinks? He said, just in case the train is late, I should not die of starvation, you know. So I'm keeping all of these things ready. So hopefully we will be on time here every evening, 7 to 9. The second request I have is, please keep your cell phones in the Manmohan Singh mode, please. Uh, you know, as far as possible. You may want to turn them off. You may want to keep them in the silent mode. Please absolutely feel free to take your calls. Please feel free to take your calls whenever there are. I know you are all such important people, and I know that you have get important calls. Please feel free to take your calls. Would you mind doing it outside the hall though? You know, if you just keep it in the silent mode, please feel free to walk out anytime to attend to any call that you want to attend to, please. Yeah. But yeah, over here, it could create a slight disturbance, so we will keep it in the Manmohan Singh mode. One guy came and said, Singh साहब क्या करते हैं ये आप? इतना सारे भारत भर में इतना लोग पैसा खा रहे हैं, आप कुछ बोलते क्यों नहीं? He said, मेरी माँ ने मुझे बचपन में सिखाया, खाते समय कुछ बोलते नहीं बेटा. I'm sure as I continue my discussions, you will have a couple of queries and questions that may come up to your minds. And I know that they are burning issues, burning questions. You may want to just say it right then. But if we ask our queries and questions right at that time, it may be slightly inconveniencing because it may break the flow of the discussion. So at the end of the whole talk, we may have an official time for Q&A based on the time, or I shall be personally available here all the time to answer each and every single query of yours. I'll try at least to answer your queries. Albert Einstein, when he was speaking on the relativity of space and time theory, he was going all around and speaking on this theory. And once he was being driven by his chauffeur, his driver, oh, he was tired, wiped off, you know, sitting at the back of his seat, just lying totally fatigued. He said, I can't do that next talk. I'm so exhausted. The driver said, I'll do it. Einstein said, what did you say? Come again. He said, I'll do it. I've heard your talk on the relativity theory so many times now. I can repeat it as it is. Albert Einstein said, anyways, no one there has seen me. Let's try it. So he said to the driver, you go ahead. The driver went to speak, you know. And this is a real story, by the way. And as the driver was giving the talk, Albert Einstein came out of the car and sat way back at the audience, you know, way back at the end of the audience. And God, he was so impressed to see his driver talk. Wow, this man is speaking verbatim, word by word, exactly. You know. And the whole scientific community was so impressed. And at the end of the talk, one scientist raised his hand for a question. Now is the trouble, you know. You can repeat the theory. So he asked some question on the relativity theory. And the driver said, what a dumb question, man. What a stupid, foolish question that is. I mean, you asked that question to scientist Albert Einstein? So that guy was also humbled. Did I ask the wrong thing? Albert Einstein saying that, no. He said, it's such a dumb and stupid question that even my driver sitting behind can answer it. So they told Albert Einstein to answer that question. And Albert Einstein just stood up and answered. And the scientific community was thinking, driver aisa hai to scientist kaisa hoga? I must tell you something. I think I'm like the driver, you know. So don't hassle me with too many complicated questions. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to answer them. But I will definitely take questions as and when time permits. The fourth clarification I need to make is, please feel free to take a sip of water whenever you feel like. These talks can be intense, you know. In the middle of the air conditioning. Hare Krishna. So water's just outside the room. If you just walk out of the door, there's facility for drinking water there with cups kept there. Please feel free to take a sip of water anytime you feel like. And the restrooms as well. The restroom for the ladies are just outside here. When you walk out of this hall, on your left when you walk out. And the restroom for the men is on the 4th floor. So you may have to walk down a floor. So apologies about that. And last but not the least, in terms of clarifications, what we are talking here in these 6 days is the fundamental basics of the Gita. We are not discussing the Gita at all. Post this course, we will be having a detailed discussion of Gita once every week. For those who would like to register, we will announce it on the last day. But I want to make it clear because you must have the right expectations when you come for a course. Bearing this in mind, we must move on to see what we are going to cover in these 6 days. The topic that we are going to talk about today on day 1 is called Search for Happiness. Happiness seems to be so elusive, isn't it? If you ask a person about what his happiness is, different people have probably different interpretations, different definitions of what true happiness is all about. A guy came to a sage and said, "Sir, may I kindly know what is happiness?" The sage said, "Can you see that butterfly sitting on that flower? Go get me that butterfly and I'll answer your question." So this guy went all the way to this butterfly and tiptoeing, steadying, as he just reached close to the butterfly, it flew away. Went to another flower. This guy again, very silently, very, very quietly went to again pick the butterfly up, and the butterfly flew away. And kept flying here, there, everywhere as he tried to catch the butterfly. And finally, exasperated and fatigued, this man came and sat down. And guess what? The butterfly came and landed on his shoulder, you know. He very softly held the butterfly and came to the sage and said, "May I now ask you this question? You said, bring the butterfly. Here I am. I brought the butterfly. Can you kindly tell me what happiness is?" The sage said, "It looks like happiness is like butterfly, you know. The more you tiptoe and try to chase it and grab it and catch it, seems like it flies away and slips out of the hand. And the more you come and sit down and introspect a little bit, do I need my iPhone? Do I need my MacBook Pro? Do I need my Gucci? Do I need my Giorgio Armani? Do I need my blah blah blah?" Looks like it dawns on you, you know. So the sage said, "Looks like happiness is like a butterfly." We're going to talk about whether it is like a butterfly or not this evening. Hold on till we move on to the topic. Tomorrow we will discuss about the topic, does God really exist? Or is God an imaginary device created by some people to create fear in the minds? Is it not? Oh my God. Hare Krishna. You know what this movie said? यहाँ से 50-50 कोस दूर गांव में जब बच्चा रोता है ना, तो माँ कहती है, "बेटा सो जा, नहीं तो गब्बर आ जाएगा." When I ask for fill in the blanks of a Gita shlok, no one does it. When I ask for fill in the blanks of a popular Bollywood dialogue, अरे सब ready है बोलने. It's quite amazing. I'm wondering if God is a Gabbar Singh. Is God an imaginary Gabbar Singh created by religion? Is God an imaginary Gabbar Singh created by some writers and fictional novelists to create a moral fear in our hearts कि ऊपर कोई है, सो जा बेटा, नहीं तो भगवान आ जाएंगे. ये मत कर बेटा, नहीं तो भगवान दंडा मारेंगे. ऐसा मत कर बेटा, नहीं तो पाप लगेगा. Who decided पाप, पुण्य and all of that stuff? Tomorrow we have to look into a very serious topic. Does God really exist? How many of you think He exists? I'll ask that question tomorrow as well, but I want to just know, just like a rough count today. Wow! Wow! How many of you think He doesn't exist? Wow, that's only a few people here. How many of you think हमको पता नहीं यार, आप हम इधर फी भर के आए, आप बोलो ना, क्वेश्चन क्यों पूछता है? Okay, thank you. Tomorrow we'll look into this topic. The third day we are going to discuss, who am I? How many of you here are mothers? May I have you raise your hands, please? Great. Fathers? Sons and daughters? Wow. Siblings to someone? Okay. Students? Professionals? Wow. Indians? Housewives? Good for nothings? No, I didn't expect that. How many roles we play in our lives? As a mother, as a teacher, as a sibling, as a son, as a daughter. Which of those roles is me? Which of those roles is me? In the Western world, in the field of psychiatry, we have a famous psychiatrist with us from KEM this evening. There's something called as identity crisis, right, madam? And people many times go through an identity crisis not truly knowing who they truly are. We are looking at, who am I? What is our identity? What is our role to play in this world? A human being? A mother, a father, a son, a professional? What is it that we are? We will talk about that on day 3. Oh my God! Go to Atria. And Atria is full of, go to a telephone, buy a cell phone, from Samsung Galaxy Note to iPhone 5s to blackberries and blueberries and gooseberries and strawberries and whatever else fruits exist in the market. You will find all varieties of models available to shop from. Just see what your buying capacity is and you can shop from a wide range of models, whether it's phones or shoes or slippers or garments, whatever. Sometimes I feel India is like a supermarket of gods, a shopping mall of gods. Haven't we heard this 33 koti hai beta? है ना? 33 कोटि भगवान है अपने, सबको मत्था टेका, एक का भी कुछ गड़बड़ कर देगा और कोप हो गया ना, शाप लग गया ना, तेरा फेल हो जाएगा तू एग्जाम में. हाँ, ऐसा नाराज नहीं करने का बेटा. बीएमसी को नाराज करेगा पानी नहीं आएगा, वोडाफोन को नाराज करेगा फोन कट हो जाएगा, है ना? There are many gods. Is Hinduism a monotheistic religion or is it a polytheistic religion? We will discuss that a little bit on the 4th day. You should not miss this. On day 5, we will be discussing a very crucial and hot topic called why do bad things happen to good people. Every single time people come and tell me, the student is saying, Prabhuji, I studied so much, and that guy was a freak, a party freak, a cinema freak, a discotheque freak. He's going around doing all kinds of stuff. And he went ahead of me. Why do bad things happen to good people, and conversely, why do good things happen to bad? How many of you ever thought about that in your personal life? Please raise your hands. मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है ना? I'm sure all of you are waiting for that answer. With students, sometimes it's funny because they just don't study and they say, मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों? They go to the exam and on the answer paper they write few lines and they say ETC, etc. Because ETC means end of thinking capacity. Now I can't think anything further, so they just want to jot it down. Strange but true. We will be addressing this topic on the 5th day. And the last day, 6th day, we'll be talking about practical application of what we have heard in these 5 days in our personal lives. How do we apply it? You go to a school, you go to a college, you learn things, you have to apply it in your lives. A teacher in classroom said to a kid, Beta, I just taught you a mathematical formula, isn't it? If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. Can you give me a practical example of this? And the son was so good at his application. He said, yeah, simple. Madam, I love you and you love your daughter. Hare Krishna. What a practical application of that formula. I must say, indeed, we will be discussing slightly about this topic. And now we must move on for our discussion this evening on the search for happiness. May I now ask you a simple question? What do you see here on the slide? I don't think it's a very hard question, is it? What do you see here on the slide? T-shirts. Garments, T-shirts. Pardon me? Colorful T-shirts. What's the common thing in each of these? They're all t-shirts. What are the differences? Colors. Any other differences could there be in t-shirts? Sizes. Any other differences? Brands. Any other differences? Material. Any other differences? Designs. Any other differences? Pardon me? Sizes. Yeah. Important one, price. Thank you. Gender. Sometimes I see incredible slogans on t-shirts. One guy was wearing a t-shirt in a college I went to, and the t-shirt slogan was 99% of the girls on this planet are beautiful, the rest 1% are in my college. He had the guts to wear that t-shirt and move on all around the college, you know. I'm saying, beta, tu sambhal ke ja, sab milke tera aisa kachumbar bana degi, tu pehen ke ja. I read another one, very nice one. On the t-shirt was written, please do not disturb. Already disturbed. There's no need to disturb me. But as soon as we talk about this little picture here, we talk about something that's in common and something that's different. The common thing is that they are all t-shirts. The difference is the sizes, the colors, the brands, the genders, the whatever, the prices and everything else. Now may I ask you to tell me about the living creatures on this planet? Living creatures on this planet. Human beings, thank you, madam, thank you. Yeah. Animals, yes. Plants, yes. Insects, yes. Yes. Something more? If you ask me to divide all the living creatures in two basic broad categories, what would those two categories be? Pardon me? Plants and animals. I'm talking about the living only, madam. Living beings only, how would I classify them into two categories? Vertebrates and invertebrates, okay. Any other classification at all? Those who breathe and those who don't. Thank you. Having intelligence and not having intelligence, that's all right. And I'm going to just try and put it in two categories really. Humans and non-humans, which include the plants and the animals and the birds and everyone else. And if you see all of these species, different living creatures, what's in common? All are living. Anything else in common? Anything in common, please? Eye movements, is it? Okay. Anything in common? Many of the girls are thinking, if I get that last one as my husband, how nice it would be. Such a handsome chap that is. I should have put some ladies also there. Anyway, what's in common? Sorry about that. Eating. Eating, breathing. Huh? Active. Active, eating, breathing, acting. Behavior. Size. Oh, yeah. I think before anyone else, we have to see human sizes also. Yes. They have a soul inside. Okay, thank you. We have an absolute amazing philosopher sitting right in the front of the row. He said they have a soul inside them. Oh. Anything else you want to mention, if there's something in common? I'm looking at four things that one of the verses in the Mahabharata talks of, to tell us what's common between humans and animals. You know, ahara nidra bhaya maithunam cha samanyame tat pashubhir naranam dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhir samanam. The Mahabharata divides all living creatures into two divisions: Pashuhu, animals, non-humans, and Naranam, humans, and talks about four things being common to all of them. The first one, how many of you sleep? I'll be seeing that scene in a while from now. It's just about 10-15 minutes left for the big session to begin. हाँ, वाह, we are all waiting. जल्दी खत्म करो सा, ऊपर डिनर भी है. I always insist, don't ever bring the dinner serving arrangement inside. जैसे ही वो खुशबू जाता है ना नाक में, no one's attentive to me. आज क्या होगा? Thinking about dinner. Enjoying, right? How many of you like to enjoy life? Oh wow, thank you. Defense? Defending? How many of you have defended yourself when someone said you're wrong? All ना? मैं गलती किया? मैं? Hey! मैं कैसे गलती कर सकता हूं? बॉस के सामने चलता नहीं ऑफिस में, घर में फुल ब्लास्ट, उधर तो कोई सुनने वाला है नहीं. As soon as you come home, you mean I? The defense mechanism is so strong, isn't it? Well, if you look at animals, they sleep. And if you look at human beings, well, they sleep as well. Animals, no special arrangements. Go to sleep. Anywhere. Anytime. Have you ever been to railway station ever and seen that kutta? Right under your bench, sleeping. And when you feel like sleepy, do you also say, Bakada hai na? Let me lay down. My God. Students, their slogan is, why? Padhna, likhna, chhod padhai. Nakal pe rask aas. Utha rajai, soja, bacche rab karega paas. Why you want to bother studying and all that? Just relax, chill out, Have a good time. I went to England, and when I was in England, all the people who came for my talk had so many iPods in front of me to record, All of their multiple iPods kept, and I'm like a celebrity, I felt. Sitting there and all that. I said, wow, so many iPods all there just for me. Whoa. So I came back, I landed British Airways BA198 and came back to our temple. And guess what? After receiving so many iPods, the next morning was my talk. So I sat on the dais thinking at least a few would be in there, Not one. Instead of iPod, everyone dropped their eyelid. Ghar ki murgi, dal barabar. I always see in my talks people have such a great time catching up with their lost sleep. How many of you need a nice mattress to lie down on? Comfortable? You don't have to raise your hands, it's okay. But thank you if you do. A comfortable pillow so that you don't have a cervical problem. Oh, a duvet, a blanket, a sleeping bag, and the winter now, 15 degrees Celsius this morning. And the Mumbaiites are saying, Thand lag raha hai, yaar, thand lag raha hai. Oh, it's cold. Allahabad is 1 degree Celsius right now. Kumbh Mela, 1 degree Celsius. Everyone's having a comfortable time resting. And we always thank God, when the alarm rings. Thank God to inspire that man who invented the snooze button. New Year resolution, uthungi, jogging, yoga, workout, exercise. 1st of January done, 2nd of January, 3rd of January gone, 4th of January, oh it is Friday, no, we went for a party, Monday we will start again. And then Monday again the alarm goes and snooze. I'm going to Kumbh Mela. I'm going to Puri on the 30th of January, Jagannath Puri for 3 days. From there I go to Delhi for 2 days. From there I go to Vrindavan for 5 days, and then to Kumbh Mela, Allahabad for 2 days. And it's freezing. Freezing. And I have allergy with blankets and woolen fibers. As soon as one fiber goes in, I get throat infection, start coughing, sneezing. So I'm looking at getting a sleeping bag, which goes to 0 degrees Celsius at least, because I travel overseas. And I should have a sleeping bag which can protect me at least at 0, and if it's below 0, good. And good heavens, I've been trying to do research. Which one to order? Expensive to the core, you know. And I'm thinking, how am I going to get that? A bald monk with no money, no bank account. I'm thinking, I'm not soliciting donations, by the way. Just as an example, you know. How much arrangement to sleep? And still, can you sleep peacefully? Can you sleep peacefully? So many people with sleeping disorders, sleeping pills, not able to get over their past, not able to get over their future worries, not able to get over their anxiety and depression and loneliness. Sleep has become such a rare commodity, you know. Peaceful rest. If you sleep for 6 hours, sound sleep, you don't need to take even a nap in the day, you know. Sound sleep. What a luxury it is today. Have you seen your dog? I'm sorry, I'm not comparing anyone to anyone. अरे वो सो जाता है यार, पीसफुली सो जाता है वो. उसने कभी अलार्म नहीं रखा है. Never kept an alarm. Never ever. Didn't bother about a duvet, a blanket, a sleeping bag. लेट गया, सो गया, उठ गया. I don't know who's better. I'm not saying anything now. You can conclude later. Eating? Oh my goodness. Such a common thing, is it not? Animals eat. And oh. Have you ever tasted Lindt Lindor? Have you tasted Lindt Lindor with strawberry filling in it? Have you ever put that one piece pulled out of the packet? Have you ever visited the website for Lindt, by the way? If you haven't, I recommend you do. It's an incredible website. There's a guy who takes you around. Very interactive one, you know. And then he tells you. You can hear it if you like to. It's on their website. He tells you, pick up your Lindt. Go to a silent room. Sit where there's no noise. First, look at your chocolate. Look. Take a deep look. Wow, what color? What color? Then, slide your hand on the chocolate. Touch. Smooth and silky. Then, we're not giving you one today. Smell it. Wow. After which, snap a piece and hear the sound. You can visit the website if you think I'm lying or making it up. Snap it and hear the sound. And then, pop it in. And allow the silent explosion of ambrosia to flood your tongue. My God, it's eating. It's eating. Look at the description and the hype about it all. I'm thinking, okay man, it's a chocolate. Take it, eat it. There's a website that tells you, see it, smell it, hear it, touch it, taste it. Animal को दो यार खाना. वो बोलता है खिला दे अभी बस. I'm not against tasting good food, don't worry. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is there's such a hype about it where the principle is the same. And how many of you have felt that if you get your favorite prep over and over again, it doesn't remain your favorite? 10 दिन वही ब्रेकफास्ट लंच डिनर में खाएगा ना, बोला पक गया यार, दाल चावल खिलाओ, दाल चावल खिलाओ. Isn't it? I used to love dal dhokli a lot, you know. And therefore now I don't mention in public programs what I like. Because as soon as you mention in public programs what you like, now everyone who invites you home for lunch. And if I have to go to 4 homes that week, 4 homes has dal dhokli. बस अम्मा अब और नहीं. You can imagine. Eating, such a big deal, isn't it? And enjoying life. Oh, the greatest of which is partnership. You know, having a spouse, having someone to share your heart, having someone whom you can truly connect to, and then start a nice family with a sweet little darling coming and saying, Mama, Papa, the first Mama, the first Papa. Oh, it's a talk of the town, you know. Oh, it's the same principle, isn't it? Same principle. On a Valentine's Day. Sorry. I'm sorry, I told you I have to keep saying this, otherwise you're not going to be attend to my philosophy. I will take you through the philosophy and all my summary points will be on the slide. Don't think I'm doing time pass. Don't ever think I'm doing time pass. I'm driving home a point, just making it lighter, that's all. You know. One guy on a Valentine's Day went to a girl and he decided, why rose? Fully blossomed lotus. Hatke. Took a fully blossomed lotus and went straight on his knees and all that. You know, gave it to her and said, hey, will you be mine? Pad! She gave her a slap, you know. Gave him a slap on his face. So he said, why have you hit me on my face? He said, very simple. It's tit for tat. I said, tit for tat, I gave you a flower. How is it tit for tat? I said, simple. You gave me BJP. I gave you Congress. I'll tell you how hearts and relationships and breaking things can be pretty interesting. And the last thing indeed is defense. Not just physical defense, which animals and humans both do, but emotional defense. My goodness, I'll tell you something. Take this home as a sutra. If you can learn how to get above the right and wrong, will save yourself a lot of relationships. All of us all the time get trapped in that rightness and wrongness to prove that I'm right, to prove that you're wrong. Why prove? Improve. Don't prove. Learn how to improve that relationship. If we just learn how not to get into that defense mode all the time, that person matters to me. He or she matters to me. What a difference it will make to life if we just get beyond this defense mechanism all the time. So it's not just about physical defense. That's of course there. And an animal defense, you know, you want to try, go pull the tail of a dog, you'll see how he defends. You will see very well how he defends. And many times, we don't need to be slapped or anything. That's all okay. Verbal slaps, you know, inside the demon within us sometimes. Just get into such a confrontation mode. A lot of relationship conflicts amongst younger couples these days, because I am a lot into mediation. A lot of conflicts between younger couples these days springs out of this. If only they can try and learn how to go beyond that rightness and wrongness. When I say sorry, in spite of being right, it's not about right or wrong. When I say sorry to you, I may be right. What I'm trying to say is, you mean to me more than being right. It's not about right. You truly mean to me more than being right. So I'm thinking, what a system, you know. The acronym for this commonalities is SEED, where S stands for sleeping, Nidra, E stands for eating, Ahara, E stands for enjoying, Maithuna, and D stands for defense. Ahara Nidra Bhayamaithunam cha Samanyametat Pashubhir Naranam. Samanyam, common between Pashu and Naranam. Now if there are commonalities, there must also be a difference. Right? Life of Pi. How many saw this movie, Life of Pi? Oh, there's a good number of people who've seen it. I used to have another image today. I thought I must put this in thing, no, today. What do you think is the difference between humans and animals, ladies and gentlemen? Emotions. Yes. Something else, please? Emotions. Do animals don't feel? Do animals not have emotions? They have. Okay, okay. So it doesn't seem like it's a very major difference. Anything else? Intelligence. That's kind of right, madam, of course. And do animals not have the intelligence? Because I see sometimes when a dog comes to my place, a stray dog, and he's waiting for a roti to be thrown, and I say, hut, hut. The second day he comes. Second day I say, hut, hut. Probably the third day he comes. Fourth day he realizes, gaon case hai, deta nahi hai. So they have intelligence. May not be the same as us, but they do have intelligence. Anything at all? Pardon me? Dharma. You know Sanskrit, madam? Wow. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hi na pashve. Dharma. Alright, I'll take that. Dharma. Anything else? One or two last before I move on? Compassion. Compassion. Yeah. You know, sometimes, of course, rare occurrences, it's not a very common thing, but I've seen certain species taking care of the other species' offspring, you know. There are many videos on the internet which you will see, like a tiger taking care of a piglet. There are cases like that. So there is some kind of an emotion, compassion seems like in an animal also. Yeah, one last thing, a last take on it before I move on. Thinking. Pardon me? Loyalty. Teri meherbaniya, teri kadardaniya. My God, I see sometimes dogs more loyal. So doesn't seem like it stands out. They seem to be more loyal sometimes. Okay, I think we'll. Yes, you had something to say, sir? Yes, someone else. Ambition. Ek to cheez bol diya. You're a student, looks like. And what's your ambition, man? Nothing at all. Okay. No, good luck. I know you have a very admirable ambitions, of course. All right, let's move on with this. I truly feel that, like someone said, human beings have a very special intelligence. Why do they stand out amongst all the animals? Their intelligence is different. The animals, they think, they have intelligence, but they think in only 4 areas. Which ones? When to sleep, how to eat, how to enjoy, and how to defend. They're intelligent, but this is where, you're right, this is where they think, not at all beyond this. How many of you only think about this? Are maro theplu kiya che? No. How many of you come here saying, so, abhi sona hai bas? Arey kya takle log bolte rahe. Let's just go to sleep, man. Know what I mean? I'll tell you something. We all have, should I tell you an incredible story of the incredible intelligence of human beings, especially Indians? An Indian lawyer in the United States, New York, wanted to come to India, so he had a newly purchased Ferrari. He was a very successful lawyer, and he went to a bank and said, "Sir, I have to go to India to meet some of my relatives. Can I get a loan for $5,000? So he said, "Well, fine. What's the collateral?" He said, "My Ferrari." The bank manager said, "For a $5,000 loan, you're keeping a probably 2 million, 3 million worth of Ferrari as a collateral. Are you okay, sir?" I said, "I'm definitely okay." So he said, "Okay, fair. If that's what you want, fine." So they took the Ferrari. They gave him a $5,000 loan. This Indian man from Jhunjhunu in Rajasthan came, famous lawyer, came and visited, did his trip and everything. So he got back to New York, went to the bank manager and said, "So I'm back. What's the interest?" He said, $15.41. So he paid the $15.41. And the bank manager said, "Sir, as soon as you left for India, we did thorough research to find out who you are. did thorough research to find out you are a very successful man. Why did you? You have so much money, you buy a Ferrari for a collateral for a $5,000 loan. The Indian gentleman said, where in New York can you park your new Ferrari safely for $15.41? This is the special intelligence of a human being, especially an Indian, you know. You know what? Our intelligence is very fast in grasping things. Very fast. Have you ever seen guys who love to drive fast? They just love to drive fast, and one guy's driving fast. You ask him, where are you going? So, no, I love to drive fast. Man, where are you going? I love to drive fast. Sir, where are you going? But I love to drive fast. What's the point of driving fast if you don't know the direction that you're heading towards? You know? And to me, the modern world, with all its intelligence that human beings have, is such a fast life, you know. Fast food, fast cars, fast planes, everything's fast. Instant coffee machines, everything's instant. Fast internet, people can't wait. Are 3G slow che. India, what a downtrodden country, still 5G has not come here. We want a 5G speed. 30 seconds में मेल नहीं दिखा तो प्रॉब्लम होगा. Fast. Everything is fast. I feel it's like driving a fast car. Where are we heading? Where are we heading? With all what we have at our beck and call, where are we heading? Is there a meaning to life? Is there a purpose to life? What are we here for in this world? How long will we be here? If life ends, where do I go? How does the world function? What is my relationship with the world? What's the world's relationship with me? No animal can think that. Do you see any cats, any butterflies, any lizards sitting for this course? I see only intelligent, sharp-witted human beings sitting here because these are the questions that are plaguing their minds. The intelligence that human beings have is exceptional to ask these kind of questions, looking for a direction. And I feel with that intelligence, the first difference that all of us have is the ability to respond, not to react. Animals react. Human beings are meant to respond. Reacting is intrinsic, immediate, quick. Response is well thought, deliberated. You know, you pull the tail of an animal, it'll react snarling at you immediately. Immediate. If the boss pulls on you, in the office, try snarling. You will deliberate. नहीं बाबा, नौकरी चला जाएगा. बोलो बाजा, क्या बोलना है ना बोलो. बोलो. चालेल हा, काय बोलना है ते बोला. चालसे, वांधो નથી, बोलो. वांधो નથી, बोलो. And then they are so frustrated. Statistics have shown that 60% of the successful executives in England have had dreams of killing their bosses. Statistics. This is not my made up stuff. And on the internet there are punch bodies where all you have to do is take a picture of the guy whom you don't like and just put it in that program, and there's already a body there and the face of that guy comes on there. And then you have special keys to hit him. So you press one key, control F, boom, from the right. Reality में मार नहीं सकता. Some people break their keyboards while trying to hit that guy, you know. How many of you feel in your life you have tried to respond and not react? Again, take home this key principle. If you learn how to respond, you'll save yourself a lot of anxiety and save yourself a lot of trouble in relationships. All relationship troubles come because of just reacting. Shut up for a while. It doesn't matter. When the head is hot, two heads are hot, there is only heat that comes out. When two heads are hot, if the one head just shuts up, saying, I'm not going to react now, let me wait till things cool down. Let me wait till things cool down and then I shall see what to say. Things will be easier to deal with when heads are cooler. You know, I'll tell you, one of the main things, there's a difference between humans and animals, is the ability to respond. You know, the tongue and the teeth were once having a conversation.